Chiefs Kingdom, welcome into a brand new episode of the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. My name is Jackson Durham, and today we have some positive news to discuss. After yesterday, an avalanche of bad news. Guys, yesterday sucked. We got eliminated from the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes goes down for the season with the ACL injury. But today, we've got a little bit of a silver lining. Talked about a couple silver linings from yesterday's news. But I'm not going to lie, some of that, there was copium there for sure. But this is genuinely good news around Patrick Mahomes' injury, and it is huge news direct from Andy Reid from his press conferences today. So we're going to get into all of that in just a minute. But first, I need you guys to help me out, to help Patrick Mahomes out. Send him some good vibes. Like today's video if you want Patrick Mahomes to recover as fast as humanly possible. If you want Patrick Mahomes to be back on the field week one, send the message by liking today's video, sending positive vibes to number 15, and helping support our channel out at the exact same time. Massive, massive thanks to everybody who hits the like on today's video, and a big thanks to everybody just for spending your time with us today. Let's get into the update from Andy Reid. So here's what he had to say. He said that according to the MRI, obviously Patrick Mahomes' ACL is torn and his season is over. However, the positive end of that, the ACL is the only one of the three collateral ligaments that is torn for Patrick Mahomes. And if you don't know what I just said, let me explain a little bit about how the knee works. So there are three ligaments that make up the human knee and allow it to bend and do all of the things that we need our knees to do on a day-to-day basis, and especially the NFL players need their knees to do. They are the ACL, the anterior crucial or collateral ligament, the MCL, the medial collateral ligament, and the PCL, the posterior collateral ligament. And all three of those can be damaged in situations like this. That was the initial biggest concern with Patrick Mahomes, is not only is the ACL damaged or torn fully, he's also got full tears or full damage to the MCL or to the PCL as well. That is where things get really disastrous with these knee injuries. That's where you have a lot of after effects on your athleticism. That's where you have to have multiple surgeries, one to clean out your knee entirely, and then one to repair the ligaments. So, with Patrick Mahomes only having the ACL torn, I'm not Patrick Mahomes' doctor. I'm not a doctor at all. These are generally the best practices with these situations. So we'll go with what generally would occur in these situations. You won't likely see a second surgery needed for Patrick Mahomes. Again, it is very hard to speak definitively on these matters. I don't want to tell you guys 100% Patrick Mahomes is only going to get one surgery, because at the end of the day, if Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs doctors decide that getting two surgeries is best for his recovery, that is exactly what they are going to do, and I am not a doctor. And any doctor that evaluated Mahomes may come up with the same conclusion. But generally, you don't have that path for damage like this, when it is just the ACL that is damaged, when the PCL and MCL are fully intact and in fact undamaged. You do not need that secondary cleanup surgery. You just need the initial repair surgery. And so what does that mean? How does that affect Patrick Mahomes' recovery? Well, number one, it's going to have a massive, massive positive impact on the timeline. And we're going to break that down in just 1 minute. But first, I've got to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is Prize Picks. Guys, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, and it is the holiday season. It's the best time of year for sports, whether it's bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It is all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, whether it's what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there is just one place where it feels good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. New feature alert, my friends. Prize Picks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before your game even finishes. And speaking of lineups, I've got one put together for this week's games, I've got Aaron Rodgers is less on the passing yards for Monday, and I'm going with the more on Tua. I think Miami pulls a little bit of an upset there. That is tonight's game as we are recording this. And then on Thursday, I'm going with the more on Matthew Stafford. So you could tail me on this lineup. You could fade me on this lineup. Whatever you do, just do it at Prize Picks because I love how straightforward Prize Picks is. I don't have to spend a lot of time trying to calculate my payouts like other apps sometimes make me do. Prize Picks just makes it super easy with their payout multipliers, whether it's just a simple 3x or a big 2000x. Prize Picks makes it easy to understand exactly how much I'm going to win. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Huge shout out to Prize Picks. Always appreciate them supporting the channel and supporting today's video. And definitely make sure you use code CLNS if you do go check them out. However, let's get back to our discussion of how exactly this should affect Patrick Mahomes' recovery timeline. It should reduce it by multiple months. So when we talked yesterday, we were thinking from a perspective of potential multiple ligament damage, potential multiple surgeries needed, and we still may be in that position. I'm not 100% telling you that we're not. But the door is open now that Patrick Mahomes, if everything goes swimmingly in his recovery, if he absolutely crushes, just gets after his physical therapy like an animal, there is a world in which Patrick Mahomes is running and throwing this summer. As crazy as that sounds. I'm not telling you he's ready for full contact this summer. I'm not telling you he's ready for full contact week 1 just yet. But the possibility is open that he is moving, throwing the football, running around this summer. We have seen that with torn ACLs before. When it is just the ACL or just the PCL, MCL, single ligament damage, much quicker recovery timeline. And the other thing that you have to consider here, and we didn't touch on it too much yesterday, this is a positive for what Mahomes looks like when he returns as well. The less damage you take to that knee, the easier it is to get back. The easier physical therapy is on your body, the less reduced that speed and athleticism dip we see sometimes with guys who go through these extreme knee injuries. And a lot of times that's because you miss so much time. You can't work out for an extended amount of time. You can't get back into drills for an extended amount of time. The rust starts to set in. Mahomes has a much lower risk of that happening if, again, he is able to get back as quick as this summer. That would be enormous for Patrick Mahomes. I feel like any concern of a drop-off is massively reduced. Because while I don't think that this would have a serious effect on Mahomes' ability to throw the football really at all, I mean, maybe his base, but probably not. What it could affect, if you did have to get multiple surgeries, if you did have multiple ligament damage, is what makes Mahomes so dangerous outside of the pocket. Something that's been such a tool for Mahomes, especially this season. We really saw him use it as a weapon and a very effective one. His ability to get outside the pocket, his ability to attack you with his legs, I don't think that's going anywhere. I think other teams right now are seeing this situation with Patrick Mahomes, and they're very relieved. I've been seeing discussion online, some buddies in a group chat of mine that are not Chiefs fans, sending messages like, man, the Chiefs had a great run. Man, Patrick Mahomes, really, really great run. It ain't over yet. Mahomes is coming right back. I'm telling you, this is not going to be the end of Patrick Mahomes, not by a long shot. I have seen a lot of doomer talk around that and around Patrick Mahomes, and I just want to put a stop to that because if you think Mahomes is the type of athlete, the type of competitor to let an ACL injury put a stop to what he's built, you don't know him at all. That would be my take. That would be my take. You don't know the type of guy that Mahomes is, the type of guy that's attacked his entire career, the type of guy that's been that competitor for years. I just can't see it. Mahomes will come back strong. I am 100% confident in that, and I'm more confident in it knowing that he now has an advantage. He's always going to have the mental advantage, but that single ligament damage, it just being the ACL, that is so huge. That is so huge because no matter how hard you attack it, it doesn't. You got to deal with what your body gives you at the end of the day. And you get a little lucky sometimes with these injuries. And we absolutely did. I know it's weird to say. Obviously, it's not lucky that Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL. But you go down like that, this could have been substantially worse. It absolutely could have. He could have torn all 3 of those ligaments. That's the reality. It's a near miss on something that could have been significantly worse. Still 100% bad, but this is good news. We should treat it like that. Got to keep our eyes towards the rest of this season. We're going to have a preview coming out later this week, and then I'm going to have my first mock draft coming out as well. We're getting into some offseason content, gang. We're going through some draft targets. We're going to have a mock draft. Lot of offseason content coming for the Kansas City Chiefs. And final 3 games, we'll preview all 3 of those as we roll through the remainder of the 2025-2026 season, keeping our eyes on Patrick Mahomes' recovery and how the Chiefs can attack things this offseason to get better, to avoid what happened this season. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. All of that and more is coming on the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports, and you do not want to miss a thing. Thanks for hanging out with us. I've been Jackson Durham, and we'll see you next time.